Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly, and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. That's Ginks, and the other cat is Ollie Boo, and they play together all the time. It's been raining a ton for 2 days straight, and so this is the first time they've been out where it's been a little bit drier and they can actually play. This is the view I see from where I'm sitting in the kitchen. I just grabbed my camera, so that's why you're seeing this angle, but it's just kind of funny the shenanigans that I can see take place through that window all day long. And it's raining again, so nothing like taking a good nap on the couch. You guys head to the description box and use my link and my code LOLLY10 and get 10 bucks off your GreenStalk Garden orders. And don't forget, you can use that on top of any sales that they have in the future. And it's not too late if you guys are still new to GreenStalk. Just remember, I gardened through the entire fall and winter in my GreenStalk, so plenty of time left to try one out. This is what all my cats do after a rain. They love going to drink the rainwater off that table. And Mags woke up and decided to go out on the shelving that's on the patio. Y'all know I recently named this the patio instead of the catio because I've got cats and dogs that go on it. And I have that outdoor shelving with some bath mats on it, and so they can actually lay on those. It's just under the awning enough that they don't get too wet and they can still enjoy being outdoors even in the rain. And that's Hampton sitting up there above Mags. And here's Aspen. He's taking a shift too. Now, this is a chipmunk that I have named Sunny, based on the sheer number of sunflower seeds that are eaten all day, every day, and stashed away. There are so many stars of the show around here, you guys. I've got chipmunks and birds and cats and dogs and chickens. Each of them are so special, but today I just wanted to highlight Sunny a little bit. Chipmunks like Sunny are often kept as pets just because they're super cute and entertaining. And they live in multiple tunnels in their natural habitat. So they have low tunnels where they keep their food so that it stays cool and dry. And then they actually create tunnels for any kind of trash or feces and things like that. So like if they get rid of the shells from all of the sunflowers that they collect or safflowers and things like that, they would put those in a separate spot once they're done. So they try to keep things pretty tidy in their home, and then they like to create little nests out of leaves and things like that that are more comfortable. And y'all, I don't mind feeding them seed because you know what? They'll actually eat bird eggs and small birds too. So I try to make sure that they're kept fed and everybody is happy. They may have 4 to 5 young after about a 30-day gestation, and both the male and female raise their young. And within 2 weeks of emerging from the burrows, those little ones become independent. So they all kind of live on their own. Now their lifespan is only about 2 to 7 years max in the wild. If they're kept in captivity or away from other predators, they've been known to live till the age of 11. Hey! All right, for those of you who are new, this is my bantam chicken who I named Pigeon. And she balks and squawks and comes to the kitchen window for treats now. And actually, you guys, this has started to happen multiple times a day. So I try different things each time she comes. She doesn't like all the same treats as the larger chickens, so I just try different things. Now, she does like eggs, but she's making a little bit of a mess here, and then she'll finally start getting some pieces and eating them towards the end. But I just let her make a mess, and then I knock it off onto the ground, and I promise you something is going to eat it once it goes down there. I can actually be sitting in my chair working, and she will start making a lot of noise out there and calling me, and we'll just talk back and forth from where I am sitting. So if you guys have been watching my other videos, you know that I have all my GreenStalks on a new GreenStalk Garden Patio. And this time, things have been totally different. I've been having some issues and some pests and some circumstances that are beyond my control. And so I haven't been doing a lot of eating yet. I usually pick things when they're small and let them grow again. And then some things I let get a little more mature and then I eat them. I cut a few and I let them come back. But I've just been kind of sitting tight to see how things are going. So today I just want to take a look at all of my GreenStalks and see what different things are going on with each one. I'll be looking for a variety of things. And so I'm just taking you with me. It's been raining for 2 days. It's misting right now. It's supposed to rain really hard again soon. So I'm hoping I can get this done before the rain comes again. Since it's been raining so much, I'm probably going to cover a few of them up with my frost covers just to prevent any more watering because I don't want fungus or mold or anything like that to start growing inside these GreenStalks. Now, the one that I won't be covering is the one with the Rin Nest. So let me show you that real quick. So the Rin Nest is in this beanstalk. And I've tried to show you some footage before, but it's been a little bit tricky because it's hard for me to hold up the original tier when it's full of water and super heavy, but I'm going to try it again. So it may be a little bit wobbly for a minute. I do know that there are 4 eggs in there, and it's definitely the wren because it flies out when I come over here. You can definitely see there, we got something going on. And there are the 4 beautiful speckled eggs. Now, y'all, the wren is flying all around. She's actually trying to bring something back to the nest. Let me see if I can get a shot of it real quick. I got to hurry up and get all this stuff done so she doesn't get stressed out. Just wanted to show you the nest and those eggs real quick. Not the best footage, but she's got some kind of leaf or cardboard or something in her mouth that she keeps scraping on everything, trying to get me to get out of the way, making noise with it. She's clearly trying to build the nest a little more. All right, this is the box stock that I had the insect cover on. I've made the executive decision to take it off because some of the greens were getting a little bit leggy. They were laying down. You could tell they were trying to get sunlight and they weren't getting enough. So germination was not an issue without having enough sunlight, obviously, but once they start growing and getting leaves, they really need more sunlight. So this could be something that could be added later after they've already grown, but I think just having that cover on 24/7 when they are so young is just a little bit too much. I'm already seeing leaf miners, okay, and so having the cover on is not going to really help with that anyway, because if the leaf miners are already on there and I've had the cover on, that means they were in the soil, and now there may be some other ones, you know, some adults that lay eggs, but there's been something eating leaves already. So these are just all leafy greens. We had some kale and spinach and bok choy and things like that. And that's just for the chickens. Here you can see how long those are. They were actually just laying down flat yesterday. And so I want to go ahead and give them some more sunlight. Now there's a lot of factors, they need to be turned, they're around other green stalks, so I really need to make sure that they're getting enough sunlight. So they look relatively healthy considering how lanky they are and that something has already been eating on a few of them. So I'm hoping they just make a comeback. All right, these are my smaller varieties of tomatoes. I don't see anything too devastating on here, but I know that they've had way too much rain. And when you have that much moisture, certain diseases can start presenting. So we'll just kind of wait and see how things go. But right now, overall, they're looking pretty good. Now here are the larger varieties of tomatoes. And I do see a few things on here. Now at the top, the strawberries, y'all, they haven't been producing for a couple weeks. So we're just going to talk about the tomatoes here. I've got some yellowing. I do see some leaf miners, and I do see some leaves that have spots on them. I think a lot of what's going on this year, just in case any of you are curious and wondering if you're going to go through the same thing, is that I used a variety of products. This is the first time I've done that. The previous seasons, I used all potting mix from Carolina Gold for the most part, a little bit of Miracle Grow. You can see either the discoloration and the spotting. There's two different things going on in that scene. But I've used a variety of soil and just different things this year. I've combined a lot of things. And so there's really no way for me to tell which product it was. So you can learn from me that when you're mixing things up, you don't necessarily know where it's coming from, the quality of it, and things like that. And so even though I get things that are organic, you don't really know what's in there. Now the beans have a lot of yellowing going on and some spotting. So that could be coming from the soil. And also, like I said, this monstrous amount of rain that we've had does not help. So if you've got disease and fungus and things like that, that moist environment can sometimes make it a lot worse. So things are eating the leaves. They're turning different colors. I am hoping that I do get some beans out of this and that it's not all lost. We'll just see. So I have a lot of pruning to do on my green stalks to get some things off to help prevent the spread from being so quick. A lot of these things, once you get them, you can't necessarily completely stop it, but you can slow it. So hoping to still get some harvest. There is some good vining starting to take place on a few. I do see the rain trying to come. And also the Rin is trying to get back to her nest. So I can't spend too much time right here. But I will be cleaning these up, just not at this moment in this video because of the rain I can see coming again. Now overall, I would say all of the plants on my green stalks are not near as green as they were last year. They have a much lighter green and yellowish color. And so I do think I'm going to add a couple sources of nitrogen to all of them just to see how that goes and to see if that will help any of them. I mean, obviously that's not going to help solve for fungus and things like that. But if there's an issue with nitrogen, then we've eliminated that on some of them. Now these had already started to go to seed. I showed you these before, the bok choy. So I can't stop that process, but I'm going to clean it up. I'll cut off a few things for the chickens, and I may just go ahead and pull it and sow again because it's so early in the season. And you can see this volunteer sunflower is about to peek its head out. Now the rest of this green stalk is looking pretty good. I do see that some things are starting to get eaten. There's a little bit of discoloration on some of the kale or the collards, but overall, I would say it looks pretty good. I'm not too worried about it. I'll clean it off. Look at that spinach right there. That's looking pretty good. Some of the kale leaves are getting really big. What I'm going to do though is clean this off just like the other ones, and I'm actually going to start cutting things that I can eat. What I don't want is to leave it so long that I end up missing a window of being able to eat what I'm actually trying to produce here. So get rid of the bad, eat the good, and then just see what happens as we continue through the season. Here's some good examples of some of the discoloration I'm seeing. And remember, this is the GreenStalk that had a ton of leaf miners all over the kale, collards, chijimisai, all of that. And so it's actually grown back quite a bit over the last week and a half. I just still have to keep maintaining it so that it doesn't get bad again. But I'm really pleased that it looks like I'm going to have some to eat at all. When I come out here to do the big cleanup job, I'm actually going to use a pair of scissors. It's always better to use scissors or pruning shears or something that's made for the garden, so that you don't pull these out by the root. Some of them come out really easy, so you have to be very careful to pinch them off properly. Now here's the hum butter. This is the one with the wildflowers for the hummingbirds and the butterflies. You can see I still have leaf miners going on in this particular one. I hate that because these seem to be growing really well. They keep trying to get large and then I have to pull them off, but they are just inside every single one of those almost. Again, everything in this GreenStalk is a little bit lighter than what it usually is, so I'm going to offer some nitrogen to this one as well and just see if it helps. You can see some discoloration on the leaves there. Just keep an eye out and see how things go through the rest of the season. That's all I can do, is do the best that I can do. I do want to show you something I find encouraging, and I actually love it because I think we get so used to having all of the things, the fertilizers and the worm castings and just every source of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that we would actually need, and everybody does the best that they can. But what happens if we don't have all of that? Would anything even grow? And I showed you those volunteers that I had growing in the clay, and y'all, they are outperforming the greens that I have in my GreenStalk with all of the fancy potting mix and things that I have in there. I just want to show you this volunteer lettuce that's growing in the clay with absolutely nothing added to it, and it's only gotten water whenever it rains, and it's about 18 inches wide now. Look at that lettuce, y'all. That is absolutely gorgeous. Right next to the patio, on the ground in the clay, which gets hard, it cracks, there's not quite as much sun there, and it's just growing like a weed. I'm gonna cut that up and give it to the chickens, but I wanted to show y'all before I started cutting on it. And here's that tomato plant that just volunteered up in the cinder block outside the chicken area. That's outside the chicken run. And this little one's outside the chicken area too, and it's about 4 feet away from the other one. And there's not only that one growing in the cinder block, but there's one right there next to it growing as well. So I can't wait to see what they produce and how they do. It's just kind of fun to watch in its natural element with no help from a human, just growing in the clay. Guys, I wanted to show you the grow bags and the railing planters and things like that today, but I've got something that's come up with one of my cats, and I've got to take her in during walk-in hours so that I can get her seen so that we don't delay treatment. So I'm going to have to wrap this one up right now, and we'll do that in another video. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope your season is going well. I hope that you're just doing the best that you can and not worrying about everything else that you can't control. We just have to do the best that we can with what we have. All right, guys, I'll see you real soon in the next video. And until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.